All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we are going to talk about Terence Crawford pretty much issuing a challenge to Errol Spence Jr. to tell me if I'm lying in a recent tweet on Twitter. Let's talk about that and the fallout of the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford conversation in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, which will probably be the last one that I make, I had another one I made this morning related to Bob Arum. But this one, Terence Crawford is again talking about the Errol Spence Jr. negotiations that fell through. And he says something because a lot of people are saying that Terence Crawford looked like he was telling a story in that particular conversation that he had. And he said, look, if I was telling the story, Errol Spence Jr. would have said something by now. Maybe there's some things he didn't know, but we'll get into that in the conversation and exactly why, bro, bud, that ain't it. Okay. But before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so we can be notified so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also thank you to everybody that supports in the super chat and in the Cash App. And I want to specifically thank Mr. Dewberry, Dr. Dewberry, for your support in the super chat and the live stream. Really does mean a lot. And thank you for your patience in us getting past that problem where you had been blocked inadvertently. Thank you for your patience and your support. Now let's get into that now that my community messages are out of the way and I've invited you to join the community. Bud Crawford is a great fighter. No doubt about it. I really believe he's one of the best fighters in boxing. Very unfortunate situation going on here with this negotiation. And more as unfortunate is this conversation that he had on Instagram last night where he explained what happened in the Errol Spence negotiation. Now, he just recently responded to a lot of criticism that has been coming his way because that is what he's getting, a ton of it. Specifically says, I'm pretty sure if anything I said was a lie, Errol Spence would have been said something by now. He was watching my live, but he knows what's real. But there are things he might not know or knew because he's not the one at the table like me myself is. Okay, now I should probably read that again with a little less, because Terence Crawford writes like he speaks, but you get the point. He's pretty much saying, if I was lying, Errol would have said something by now. He was watching the live last night. There may have been some things that he did not know because he was not at the table like I was, right? Now, here's the thing. Terence Crawford did get caught saying something that was not true. Said some things that were not true. And that was that he had never talked to Errol Spence Jr., but at the same time, he says that he talked to Errol Spence Jr. about a deal that had taken place. Now, for me, that's the only thing that I would say, okay, yeah, I think he can't be telling the truth because either you did talk to Errol Spence Jr. about the offer that was given to you, right? By whatever entity it was that was offering $50 million. Either you did talk to Errol Spence Jr. about that, or you did not talk to Errol Spence Jr. about that. One or the other, right? Now, if you're saying that you didn't talk to him, then you didn't tell him about the $50 million. If you did talk to him about the $50 million and he asked you, hey, what about the back end? Then clearly you did talk to him. One of those things have to be, not both of those things can be true at the same time, or you miscommunicated it and you just didn't communicate it clearly. Could be one of those things. Now, as far as whether or not you're telling that Errol not responding to you means that you're telling the truth. Does not necessarily mean that. It could just mean that Errol was listening and Errol was like, look, man, I'm about to move on about my way. I'm not going to continue to go on and on and on about this over the internet. just not going to do it. He very well may choose just not to go on and move on about his business, right? Errol hasn't been talking about a lot of this stuff the entire time of the negotiation. But here's the thing. And I listened to the interview. I listened to what was going on, man, and this is it in a nutshell. And none of this is making Terence Crawford look good. It's not making Terence Crawford look good. Even if every word that Terence Crawford said is true, still doesn't make him look good, because what it amounts to is this: he wanted to buy the fight from Errol Spence Jr. and Al Heyman, whatever. I consider Al Heyman and Errol Spence Jr. to be the same person, because Al Heyman is his advisor. He's his manager. They're on the same team. To talk to Al Heyman is to talk to Errol Spence. It's what it is. Al Heyman, in the capacity of a manager, his job is to negotiate the fight for Errol, to document all of the offers, the counter offers, get the contract drawn up. That's that man's job. Terence Crawford is trying to separate Al Heyman from from Errol Spence Jr. as if they are two separate entities for the sake of negotiating this deal. And they're not. He's the man's manager. But anyway, it goes. I don't separate the two. I just say it's Errol Spence Jr.'s team. So Bud Crawford goes to the third party, and this is what he's saying. If Bud Crawford goes to a third party, and a third party says, hey, Terence, if you can get Errol to agree to a fight, then I will offer $25 million guaranteed for you. I will offer we can pay $25 million to Errol Spence Jr. And Terence Crawford takes that to Al Heyman, and Al Heyman says, no, not interested in it. And you go to Errol, and Errol asks some questions, but he said, look, just like Al says, we're not interested in it for whatever reason. Then Terence Crawford says, well, then I accept they started negotiations. Terence Crawford says that he accepted everything. At that point, the offer that he originally came with was off the table. And then he came up with something new that he agreed to. Okay? If you said you agreed to everything, then why don't we have a fight? You must not have agreed to it. So then you go take another fight. Errol Spence, you don't tell Errol Spence and Al Heyman that you're going to take another fight. You just go off and take another fight. So even though you told Errol and Terence that you were going to take the deal, you didn't take the deal. So there again, you either took the deal from that Errol and Terence that Errol and Al Heyman offered you, or you did not take the deal. The two cannot be true at the same time. Just like you cannot have talked to Errol about a deal and not talk to him at the same time, you can't accept a deal and not accept a deal at the same time, as was in the not accepting it was evidenced by the fact that you walked away. And it seems as if you walked away to probably the same people, and I'm saying probably the same people, an investment group that you wind up doing a deal with on Black Prime Network. That's at least the word is that they're the same people. So pretty much you had an offer that Errol Spence Jr. from a third party, and Errol, you could not consummate the part with Errol Spence. So you turn out making a deal with a third party without Errol Spence. So where is the dishonesty coming from? That you were seriously engaged in a conversation with Errol Spence Jr. to try to make a fight for no money up front and 35% of the net. And that the reason that you walked away from it was because of the timing of it. It was only that I wanted to get out of fight this year. Look, not a lot of people are going to buy this, man. And and silence is not acquiescence. Just because Errol Spence Jr. doesn't say anything doesn't mean that Errol Spence Jr. is agreeing or saying or co-signing everything that you say just because he hasn't said anything. At the end of the day, it just all looks bad. All the way around, the entire way that the thing is handled just looks bad. And the best thing is for Terence Crawford to do is just move on, fight David Avancian. And then if you come into, and if Errol is willing to fight you after whoever he fights next, hopefully you can get the deal done then. But we're not, again, doing the thing with, okay, we're going to talk for 6 months. We want to take control of the fight. We being some people that are behind me. And Errol, we're trying to buy your people out, because more than likely that's not going to happen. But anyway, that's my take on the situation. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace. But I will be in the comment section, provided you're not out here just saying all kind of crazy stuff. But anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.